Yes, Russ, I was just wondering your reaction to the Carlos Dunlap acquisition.
That was huge. Obviously to get a guy like Carlos Dunlap on our team is a big thing. I think he's going to definitely bring something to our defense too, and that's exciting. I've played against him a few times, and he's hit me pretty hard a couple of times. He's made several plays. He's pretty talented. So we're really excited about having him, on our team. And I know he has to go through this whole COVID thing or whatever you have to do, but we're excited to have him on our football team.
Corbin?
Hey, Ross, you get to play against one of the best linebackers in football in practice every day, but the 49ers have a pretty darn good one themselves in Fred Warner. Where does he compare against some of the best linebackers that you've played against?
I think Fred's one of the best players out there, on the field. And I think he's one of the best linebackers I've played. He's so super smart. He's on his stuff. He's detailed. He just brings he brings something that most guys don't know how to bring. He just knows how to do it all. And he's a really great player. So it's always a challenge going up against him. I'm looking forward to the challenge. He's a great player for sure. I got a lot of respect for him.
Ben?
Russ, you're 31-8 after an in-season loss, which is the best winning percentage for any quarterback in I think the last 50 years. Just what makes you so good after kind of being brought down and kind of bouncing back? So coming back with the win.
I think that the expectation of winning, every week and having that vision of that and the work ethic of that as a collective team and also as an individual, obviously too. But I think that whenever it doesn't go your way, you have to be able to find. I think the great teams find ways to come back stronger than the last time they played. And I think that for me personally, where I find my clarity, to be honest with you, is just being neutral, being not being too high, not being too low. Going back through everything that I've gone through and checking it out and just processing it all. The whole defense is over here now. What's up, squad? What's up, Bobby Wagner? um, but anyways, I think that the ability to be able to stay focused and stay zoned in on what the process is, and there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows throughout the season, but I always expect way more highs than lows.
Thank you.
Look good, Russ. Look good, Russ.
Yeah, B-Wags.
John Boyle?
Since you were just talking about B-Wags, you had some good battles with that defense in training camp. They were making a lot of plays. Obviously, the season hasn't started how they wanted, but how good can that group be from what you saw in camp if they get it all going?
Yeah, I think our defense can be great. They've been so timely in so many key situations. Go back to last week, how the defense stopped them on 4 straight downs. That was amazing. That's a team effort, unbelievable, and just they've been timely all year. You think about all the games, down to the wire or whatever it may be. So I think the biggest part is just us all coming together all at the right time and all meshing together. In terms of the on the field, we're all meshing together as teammates and all that. But what I mean is that the whole picture comes together all at the same time. That's going to be really special when that happens. I think that when Jamal comes back, that's going to be a big thing whenever that is, and just he brings a lot of great energy and all that too as well. And I think Ryan Neal's played amazing in his place too, and so that's a good thing for us that we know that we have another great safety and a guy like Ryan, and I think Dunlap will help too as well, getting some of that extra rush. And we're in a really good place. We just got to continue to get better. I think that every season, no matter what season it's been, from 2012 to this year, 2020, in the midst of everything that's gone on for COVID and everything else, I think we're a really great football team, and we're just got to stay the course, keep our heads down, and keep working, and the great things are going to continue to come.
Joe Fan?
Russ, easy to play the hindsight game looking back, but on that 3rd and 2 play, you had checks at your disposal, decided to run the football. What did you see there that you liked? And then, do you go back at that one and say, man, maybe I should have kept that ball in my hand?
We don't really talk about the plays necessarily, but I think that on that particular call, we actually ran the ball to the right on that play, the play before, and we got like 4 or 5 yards, I think it was, and it was the same look, So, I think that at the end of the day, we got to find a way to pick up the first down. I think there were so many opportunities in that game. I think that we could have really done a great job of closing them out, on both sides, really, to be honest with you. But even on the offensive side, we had some other opportunities there. So I think it's all part of it. You figure out what works. We think the play should have worked, and it just unfortunately didn't for us on that one.
Did you pine for it at all to go for it on fourth down there?
I always want to go for it. That's just my nature, though. But being backed up and stuff is probably the best decision.
Jackie.
Hey Russ, I read an article this week that you're planning to open up your own charter school. Just why do you feel that's something that you and your team wants to do, and what went into that process to make this decision?
Well, Sierra and I are super excited. We've been talking about this ever since we've met, to be honest with you, about really opening up a school one day, and we've been really passionate about it. Obviously, with our foundation, the YNU Foundation, we've been able to do so many amazing things with, kids around the country and around the world and stuff like that. It's been a blessing, from cancer research to, helping out with Rainier Scholars all the way to the Rwanda initiative that, Sarah helped out with women in Africa, and just it's been just really cool, the journey of it all and all of it coming together. And just when you have young kids yourself, I think for me and C, having 3 little ones, we fundamentally believe that education is a key component of growth and life and change and opportunity. And I think that what we're really excited about with our, Why Not You Foundation, ultimately with the, the Why Not You Academy, what we're really excited about is continue to give, young kids an opportunity. And opening up doors that they may have never seen or had the opportunity to recognize or experience. And I think that the beautiful blend of education and experience, I think, is what we hope to be able to bring together with, the Why Not You Academy. And I know Sierra and I are both really, truly ecstatic to be a part of this and to really make a difference, hopefully.
Art.
Russ, you opened the game against Arizona with a bomb to Tyler Lockett, made a great catch. What went into that play call? It was about the most aggressive first play I've seen from the Seahawks in your tenure. And why is that aggression so hard to maintain throughout the game?
I think we stayed pretty aggressive throughout the game. I think that in that play in particular, I think that, Tyler just kept battling, wanted to give him a chance. And really we had some other great routes coming across the field too as well. But it just kind of flashed in my eyes, and I think a lot of it's just instincts. You take a chance to one of your best guys, and obviously Tyler's, so special. He's been amazing. His game the other night was unbelievable, and he makes an unbelievable catch. So you just try to give him a chance and put him in a spot where only he can get it, and sure enough, he makes a great catch. So that's what makes him so special, and you have that confidence in him. The first play of the game and last play of the game, whatever it is, and throughout the game, he's going to make a great play.
Greg Bell.
Thanks, Art.
Hi, Russ.
Yep.
On the school, what is it about the charter model that works for you, and to get that started, what that system and the way of going about it?
Well, I think for us with our school with Why Not You Academy, like I said earlier, we're really excited about just the opportunity just to give kids a chance in Des Moines, and really, to be honest with you, we want to take it out not just to in here in Seattle, but across the country in different locations. And I think what we're really excited about is, obviously with being a charter school, being still a public school, kids can sign up, all different kinds of kids and from all over, no matter where you're from or wherever. And so I think that's a really exciting part to it too. I think also as well, like I said earlier, just the blend of education and just the experience of, what we can really bring and opportunity and resources, I think to be able to do that. I kind of mentioned I had to do an interview, the other day, but it's for us. I know there's some, every once in a while, there's, people, well, this school's doing this and that. We're not focused on the political part of it at all. I think it's just giving kids opportunity, and I think that's the cool part for us, is to be able to really give kids the ability to continue to dream and dream big and think outside the box, and that's why we're calling it Why Not You Academy.
It's not exactly the same, but I'm sure you noticed LeBron James did this in Akron. Mm-hmm. Started his own school.
Yeah, I know. I know LeBron has done a great job with his school and everything else. And so, I think for me, to be honest with you, me and C have been talking about doing a school for. Like I said, we met in 2015, And since then, since we met, we've been talking about this. And, I think with our Why Not You Foundation, we've been fortunate to be able to do so much stuff with the youth and education and health and wellness and all that too as well. And just it's a perfect fit for, how we want to continue to invest into the next generation. And that's what we're really excited about.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nico.
Hey, Russ. I was wondering, DK Metcalf only caught 2 balls against the Cardinals. Obviously, he's typically a big part of your offense. How do you keep a guy motivated throughout the game and maybe going into the next game when he goes through a tough game like this one?
Well, I thought he played a great game. I mean, he had the touchdown, at the very end there. We thought that was his third catch, but for 60, 50 yards, whatever. Unfortunately, it wasn't. He was racing down the sideline. I thought he played a tremendous game. I think that the thing about DK is that we need to get him the football as much as we can, just because you never know what he can do with it. He's so fast. He's so brilliant with the ball, and so Tyler was just going crazy out there. And so to have 2 great guys like that, and really David Moore's been special for us all year. And so for DK, he doesn't need any motivation. He's got all the motivation in the world. And he's so laser focused and ready to roll. So I'm excited for just this week and the challenge that we have this week against this defense and what we're trying to get ready to do.
Obviously, he's such a physical specimen. He's so athletic. But what about mentally? How would you describe his mental part of the game and to be able to take games like this one?
Well, I think that the best thing about DK, to me, is his mind. I think the thing of how he processes information, how he learns from past experiences, how he learns just to continue to study, and he's so invested in the learning process of it all. That's what I think makes him so exceptional. Now, obviously, yeah, he runs a 4.3, 4.2, whatever he runs. I think he, and his ability to jump and catch and do all that. But I think there's a lot of guys that have been talented, but to have the exceptional speed that he has, to have the exceptional range that he has in catching range that he has is rare. I'm not sure there's been too many people ever to have that type of ability. And I think that, but on top of it is he has the work ethic, and I've mentioned this to you guys before. He has that kind of old school work ethic. When you think about guys like Jerry Rice and such, he has that old school work ethic. I think his mind and how he processes information, his character and everything else is very high, and that's what I love about him.
Thanks, Russ.
Yep.
Mike.
Hey, Russ, when did you first get a feel for how to manage the locker room and all the different personalities that are in it? Was that in high school, college? You got to the pros?
Yeah, man, I think that you're always constantly, managing it and processing it and all that. But because every locker room's different, every year's different, every player's different, and so I think that when you're in high school, I think that's when I kind of really. When I was in high school, we were state champions. Those three years, and we were pretty talented. We had a lot of great players, a lot of great talent, and a lot of guys who could get the ball. And I think it was all about one thing. It was about winning. It was about it was about the hard work. It was about all of that combined, and and I think that was really key for us. When I was coming up in high school and having no egos at collegiate, and just guys ready to work and ready to get to work, and we all loved it. We were passionate about ball, whether it was football, obviously, and if it was basketball or baseball, whatever it was, we were all connected. I think that when you go to college, when you have people from all different places around the country, you start realizing that people have different viewpoints. People have different ways of how they process a play or how they've done, thrown a ball or caught a ball or how they may tackle or whatever it is. And so what's the beautiful thing about going to college is that, you have this mixture of youth and talent, but yet also this education process and educational process too as well of learning how to become a man, to be honest with you. And I think that, when I was in college, it was probably the biggest growth proposition for me because, I had my dad on his deathbed. There's a lot going on, in my life at the time, and so, but I still had schoolwork. I still was taking 18 credits every semester, in the fall, in the spring, and in the summer, and with all of that, while still playing 2 sports, and a football locker room is different than a baseball locker room, for example. And so, how do you balance all of that? And so that's when I really grasped and kind of got a true degree, I guess, in that part of it. And then I think when you come to the NFL, you start learning the master's part of it and PhD level part of it all, because it's I think that when this is your lifeline in a way, kind of not a lifeline, but this is when it's your life, and this is your kids, and you got your kids that and you're taking care of them and everything else. Everybody is working together to win, and the reality is, if you don't win, you're not here. That's kind of how it works in professional sports. And so you start realizing that's a little different than college, because you get 4 years, you're on scholarship, you're kind of hanging, and that. But when you're in the NFL, you got to produce, and that's just it's kind of like the real world. And I think one of the things that you realize is that as a fan of many sports, but also playing this game and being one of 32, is that you have to bring it every day, because if you don't, you may be sitting at home. And I think that's the thing, that's a process, and you have to really be able to manage for yourself first and make sure that you're prepared every day first. As you do that, guys really respect you along the way, and you can really start helping other players. And I think, over the past 5-6 years of my career, I've been able to really try to invest into other players, because the first few years you're just trying to get ready yourself, and trying to just get there, and sure enough, we were able to win a Super Bowl, go to 2, and win a lot of playoff games along the way throughout the past 9 years. So it's been a blessing for sure.
Masvita.
Yep. Hey, Russell, on the giving back, is that something you learned from your dad, or do you remember when that kind of kicked in just to make a difference, or what point?
Yeah, I always noticed my mom, me and my dad, they always, what if it was at the church, they were always serving and giving back. I think also, too, is just, I go back to my just family history. I think about, my grandfather, was president of Norfolk State. My grandmother's a, professor and all that. And so I think it was always about serving and giving back. And, how do you continue to do that and love and try to, and I think that the other part of it to me, and as you know, Masvita, is just my faith part of it, is I think I'm called to serve. I think you're called to serve, you're called to love, you're called to give back. And, much is given, much is required. And I think that, I think for me, it's important just to continue to try to give back. I know for Sierra too, and it's an awesome thing just to, to have C, who's so loving, caring. When I met C, I thought I was always kind of giving, and I knew I loved and cared for other people and everything else. But when I met her, I was like, man, I've never met anybody so loving, so giving, and so that together was what has been really fun about this process of from the school to the children's hospitals to just giving back to, obviously with COVID this year, everything going on in America and everything else. It's all about the idea of love, and it's about the idea of just giving back and respecting people and caring for people and just trying to do all that as much as you can.
Last one for Russell, Brady.
Hey, Russ, with your injury situation at running back, Pete acknowledged the reality that you guys might actually have to use another skill guy at that position. What do you think, which of your other skill guys would make the best tailback, do you think?
Well, I think our guys are working to get back. I think we've got a chance, so we'll see what happens here. I think DJ's been great for us. I know, he's been really working his tail off, and so I'm excited to see him, play some too as well, and play a little bit more probably. But, we'll see what happens.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, guys. Go Hawks.